Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of the Blue Chip Recruits podcast. We're here with the opening cast. Got Logan, Dalton, and Camden. Boys, how's your day today?
Doing great. It's cold outside.
I'm glad it got a lot warmer today. Than it has
today it felt a lot warmer. Monday was brutal here.
It was not fun.
With the snow.
Yeah, we did get some snow.
First snowfall of the year.
I left for class on Monday and it was snowing and I debated turning right back around. But I did go to class Monday.
Good for you. Better than most. I didn't have class Monday, so I just kind of rotted. But today we'll be going over some more of the same. We got Camden hitting the 6-7 emote to my right. But we're going to be talking about some games over the past week, what we're looking forward to this week. Touch on the college football playoff rankings that changed ever so slightly, and then go over some of the head coaching openings. So, boys, first game you want to talk about. Who wants to throw it out there?
It's got to be Indiana Penn State, right?
It has to be. That was fantastic.
What a game! Like even just irrespective of the last drive that Indiana had, that was already going to be a major story and just a great game in general. Mm-hmm. And then Indiana's last drive happened, and it became like stuff of legends, at least in Indiana's part.
I mean, Penn State took their first lead of the game right before that. And then for Indiana to come out and look like they did on that drive was, as much as I hate to say it, Fernando Mendoza might have been the Heisman moment. That might have been it.
But he really didn't play well.
He didn't play well.
That's the thing. I think that's one of those moments where, like, even going into that drive, I feel like the conversation going on with me and my roommates, we were sitting on the couch, was he hasn't looked great, but he's about to win the Heisman, isn't he? Like, they was literally like, he's going to score, and it's going to be the moment that everybody's like, that's the moment he won the Heisman.
That was such a well-located pass. Like, phenomenal catch. Phenomenal catch. The awareness to get your foot down by that much.
Crazy body control from Omar Cooper.
That much. The ref, fantastic call in the field. I want to shout him out. They don't get enough love, but he was staring right at his feet the entire time on the way down.
You know a ref call is good when there are people praising the ref on Twitter after the game. Like by name.
That was fantastic, but body control, but the pass was just, you couldn't have had it any better if you're an Indiana fan.
He tried the same thing earlier where he tried to high point it a little bit in the back of the end zone, and the receiver just couldn't get it, and like almost the same exact play, and he nails the throw the second time. It was such a gorgeous pass.
I mean, and that win for Indiana basically guarantees them a playoff spot if they hadn't already, because there was no way that a 2-loss Indiana team doesn't get in my eyes. I mean, if the losses are ugly,
who would the 2 losses be?
The 2 losses would be Wisconsin and Purdue. Not great. If it was at Purdue.
Well, I mean, we saw Wisconsin has some spoiler potential.
They have some fight left in them.
Yeah, but
that game was terrible.
Fickle's still there.
And he will be next year.
And it seems like he's trying his best to not be next year. Every time he comes
they already said he's coming back.
I know, but every time he goes out to do a press conference, he says the dumbest thing, and it's almost like he's trying to get fired.
It's really funny. But that Wisconsin team looked like they had fight in them. But I still don't see it. 2-loss Indiana team. Yeah, I don't see a world. They'd have to be blown out for me to be like, all right, this is a team that's not getting in. So that, for me, solidified their playoff argument. I want to touch on a game that I believe Camden mentioned last week as one that he was looking forward to, A&M, Missouri. Beautiful game. A&M looks strong again.
Marcel Reed.
There's Heisman buzz now. Like, I mean, probably not a lot.
No.
But he's like 5th, I think, in odds.
He's third.
He might make the third.
He's on track to go to New York.
Where is Sayin at? Because he was the favorite headed into the
So
weekend.
Mendoza is currently at plus 130.
Okay.
Julian Sayin's at plus 170.
Does that make sense to anybody? Like, I know, right? Like,
no.
They're great.
No.
But, like, do you watch Sayin and think that he's the reason they're winning games?
No. Not.
Like, I mean, he's throwing to 2 first-round receivers.
Every throw he makes, there's at least like 2 yards of separation. Every play.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Smith is...
And Carnell Tate.
Well,
Carnell Tate
didn't play last week, but Jeremiah Smith was just...
They were also playing Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
No disrespect to Purdue. Like, they're a lot more competitive this year than they've been in years past, which is not saying much, but also saying a lot.
True.
Yeah. And then after Sayin, it's Marcel Reed at plus 700. So from plus 170 to plus 700. Yeah. And then Ty Simpson's at plus 800.
Really? Wow.
Simpson dropped
It was
a lot.
a bad game.
It was a really
Yeah.
bad
Like
game.
it's his worst game since the Florida State loss.
That's
They should have lost
brutal.
that game.
Yeah, and, I mean,
Probably.
anyways, before we move on to that, because we have to talk about Nussmeier at some point. But Missouri's running backs looked better somehow than they have all year against stack boxes. Jamal Roberts had more touches, which is surprising, and honestly looked better in his touches. Ahmad Hardy's still going to win the Doak Walker Award. Matt Zoller's not a good quarterback, believe it or not.
Really?
The backup
Breaking
of the
breaking news.
Third string quarterback at Missouri isn't going to break records at the school.
I think, yeah, he was 7 for 22, 77 yards, 3.5 per completion.
That's pretty brutal.
Or that might be per attempt, actually. Either way, brutal passing offense. If they had the backup, it might have been a good game. If they had Bo, it definitely would have been a good game. But I think a commendable performance given what they were
Working with,
against,
yeah. Not a whole lot. Dalton, you have any game you want to talk about at all?
Yeah, there was a game I mentioned a lot last week that kind of got hated on a little bit. But I thought LSU-Alabama was actually very competitive for the entire game. And I think you could argue on the LSU side that if they had Michael Van Buren in from the opening snap, they win that football game. Nussmeier is seeing ghosts out there, and it's one of the more...
This is one guy coming into the year.
It's one of the most, confusing and complex things I've seen because it's just so bizarre. Like, he has no confidence. His pocket awareness is awful. We've all seen the play of them in the red zone. It got him benched, and it should. Like, that was genuinely the most awful pocket presence I've seen all year. And then Van Buren comes in, and the offense is moving down the field. I know he completed less than 50% of his passes, but they actually started moving the ball when he came into the game.
Yeah.
But Nussmeier just wasn't seeing the field. He had dudes wide open. His tight end, where is it? Where's their massive tight end? Their huge tight end, Trey'Dez Green.
Oh, yeah,
Trey'Dez Green, horrible drop. That when they were one possession game, horrible drop on 3rd and 5.
He's been good this year,
Yeah.
especially red zone. They've used him a lot.
He's been money.
6'7". Sorry.
6.
I
Yeah.
mean, he
Logan,
actually
get
is
out.
6'7".
Get
But
out.
they say it every game. They say it every game when he scores a touchdown now because of. But he has been really sure-handed. Was the point I was trying to make, and he uses his frame well.
Yeah, they've just had a bad season all around. Barryon Brown's been a bust out of the portal. Nick Anderson's been a massive bust out of the portal. Aaron Anderson, I know he's been hurt a little bit. I have not heard his name one time this year. And they still
4
can't
catches, and I do not remember a single one of them.
And they still can't run the football, so their offense is just bad.
Yeah,
they're just a bad football team.
I liked Caden Durham coming into the year. I feel like I was probably more wrong about Caden Durham than any player from this preseason. Because the SEC running backs
He's
on
been hurt a little. He's been dealing with injuries.
And
But
their
the
O-line
SEC
is-
running backs coming in, it was like Ahmad Hardy was a clear number one even before the season. But then after that, it was like Jam Miller's looked good.
Yeah.
And he's been dealing with injury too. But even then, there was question about who was truly the number 2 guy in the SEC before the year. And it's just I was convinced it was Caden Durham, and Harlem Berry kind of snatched his chain in that game. So
I don't think it's all necessarily Durham's fault. This game it was because Barry did outperform them substantially, but their O-line, at least run blocking, has been awful. And I think we should have been able to see it a little more, especially with them losing their 2 tackles. They lost their center. I think they lost one of their guards. So we should have been able to see it, but they've just been disappointing as a whole. And season's no reason to talk about LSU the rest of the year. Their season's over.
No.
yeah, I in that respect, I think looking back, we really underrated how great of a tackle Will Campbell was.
Yes.
Yeah.
He I know they lost more than one guy,
Mhm.
but everything ended up becoming he's got T-Rex arms. No, he is just
He's a
that
monster.
dude. And he looks good for the Patriots. He's not perfect. He's a rookie tackle, but he's a pretty darn good rookie tackle.
He's gonna keep.
He's got Drake
is he on
May.
his blind
Yeah, he's the
side?
blind side.
Blindsided Drake May solidified for years to come.
He's got
hopefully
Drake
for
May
Bostonians.
as the MVP favorite right now, which is insane.
I did just see something though where Patriots fans have discovered Drake May's wife's Twitter or
Oh, dude,
TikTok.
Oh,
that is
they've been
hilarious.
discovered.
It's been a few weeks now. Like one post goes viral every week,
Mhm,
where
and
just
it's
people
all
being
just like
tuck him in tonight.
tuck him in. Good night. Please feed my goat. Make sure he gets enough food, but not enough to where his tummy hurts.
Give
but
him
as
a
much
good
as he wants.
give him a good night kiss from yours truly. Just stuff like that.
It's
Our husband.
Yeah.
Just the most hilarious stuff. But I want to move on to a different game. The Jack Glennon. He did not have many good things to say about this one. The Sam Houston State, Oregon State game. Sam Houston State, the second worst team in all of FBS.
Not anymore. No,
No,
probably still.
they still
probably
are.
still.
But they
I mean, I don't
they
know,
get a
man.
gutsy win there.
I think MTSU's worse.
They might be.
Like, dude, I've got my friend's the lead sports editor for their student newspaper, and I've never seen a man more depressed every week.
Well,
after
what
a
if
football
Derek Mason
game.
is your head coach?
Oh, dude,
Yeah, but
it is
I want
brutal
to
in
point out some
Murfreesboro.
stats for you here. Sam Houston State had 157 total yards of offense. Oregon State had nearly 500 at 474. Time of possession, Sam Houston State had 22, Oregon State 38. 8 first downs to 28, 3 for 13 on third downs from
How
6
did
to
Oregon
15.
State lose?
3 turnovers, and they gave up two special team touchdowns, a 98-yard kickoff return, and a 31-yard punt return. For a touchdown.
31-yard punt return.
I saw the upset, but how do you even get a 31-yard punt return?
I don't know.
Did it get blocked, or did he just short leg it? What
I
happened?
have no idea. Or it says it was blocked.
Okay,
That's what I'm thinking here, but that is hilarious.
this is and like not on the same scale, but the NFL had a Browns Jets game this weekend.
Mm.
The Jets carried 17-17 in the halftime, and they had not had a first down on offense up to that point, I believe, because of a kickoff and a punt return touchdown.
Yeah, so it was a blocked punt, and then their kicker went 1 for 3 on the day. He makes
They
two more
couldn't-
kicks.
They couldn't
the
kick.
game's a win.
They couldn't throw. They
Their
couldn't run the
special
ball.
There's no.
They
They ran the-
played
They could
defense.
throw. They can run the ball. They had 133 carries for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns running with their lead back. They could throw the ball 29 for 42 for 282 yards. He had 2 picks though. 2 picks. Special teams cost them this game in a
That's insane.
huge way.
I was talking about Sam Houston can't pass.
Oh
Can't
no,
run.
they can't do either. They can't do anything,
They
and
can't
they found a way.
defend. They can't kick.
But man, are they good at special teams?
And somehow, some way, they have managed to win a football game.
Josh Heupel, if you're listening, we need Sam Houston's special team
Steal
coordinator.
all of them.
I
every
don't
single
know.
bit.
Leave all the offense and all the defense there. Just give me their special teams coordinator. Something different's got to go on with
That
special
is-
teams. And
I
in,
mean, Sam Houston's doing split quarterbacks, which is a death sentence at any level of football.
James Madison was doing it earlier this year, and they had success.
Yeah, I think that's a little different because like they have 2 good quarterbacks, so
That
that makes a
is true.
difference.
That is true.
Like, I mean, I think, like, we've seen Ole Miss try it, and it's the reason that Ole Miss has struggled offensively in the red zone is because they're trying to use 2 guys who don't play football the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just against the split quarterback in general unless it makes sense. I think it really makes sense for JMU, and that is a rare exception in the sport of football.
I think it works for Mississippi State too with Chapin and their freshman Kamari Taylor. But Kamari Taylor, he's kind of used like a running back, so
Mhm.
I don't know if that's exactly a good example.
He
but
had 3 rushing touchdowns on Saturday. He had all 3 of Mississippi State's touchdowns on Saturday.
they were getting routed in that game.
Yeah.
So I didn't see that, but
It started off, I think they had a lead at the end of the first quarter, and then Georgia just jumped on them in
Yeah.
the second. Which, to be fair, I think that's the first time at all in the first half this year Georgia has looked like a competent football team.
They've
It
not
is
been a good first half team this year at all.
The first half Georgia in the second half, like the second half of Georgia football is maybe the best football in the country. That first half is really bad football
Mhm.
most weeks. Unless they're playing Mississippi State, apparently.
Yeah. Moving on to a different SEC matchup, Kentucky, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
What was that?
I'm not going to
Did
make
they
fun of
fire?
Florida.
They fired their interim, right?
Did they really?
I think they fired their interim.
A loss so bad you fired an interim is insane. Like, do you realize?
DJ Lagway threw 3 picks in the first half.
Okay,
and got
That is not the
benched.
first time.
And got benched.
He did get benched.
Oh, I was wrong. My fault.
Did
I
he
like-
fall for the Centel account
Did
on
you get
Twitter?
no
might have.
threed?
I
hate
refuse to
no
make
third.
fun of Florida until after Saturday, November 22nd.
That's where I was
Okay.
going next. That's where I was going next. Is Florida gives up 38 to Kentucky, only scores 7. I am totally prepared for Florida to
They're gonna
drop
look like the
30
85 Bears.
to drop 31 on us and us lose because we can only score like 17.
Yeah.
I can't wait for
I
them to
think-
trot out Harrison Bailey as their starting quarterback
Dude,
and
if-
see
if
him
we
stun all
lose-
over
If
our
we lose to
defense.
Harrison
If we
Bailey,
lose to Harrison Bailey, I will choose a different team.
wasn't his first career start against Florida in the
Yes.
COVID year?
Yeah, it
I was
was.
there for that game.
It
That was
was.
the only game
I'm
that I
sorry.
went to that season.
I'm so sorry.
He looked so good in the first drive. The first drive was a touchdown pass to Eric Gray,
dude,
I believe.
Dude, scripted drives have you believing in guys you should
Dude,
not believe
I was so hyped. I was like, all right, we're finally getting Harrison Bailey. Finally, we can see what we're dealing with here. It looks really good first drive, and the rest of the game was a blur. I remember, what's the name of that? Big Bird. Big Bird. Someone was dressed as Big Bird in the student section, and it was so empty that you could visibly just spot him in the Big Bird
I think
costume.
you'd be able to see him even if it's full, but like if the student section's pretty empty, it's like, let's be honest, COVID and how the team looked in 2020, yeah. It
So there was
like-
that, and then I remember it being posted all over like ESPN. Like during the game, he was looking visibly depressed. It was the funniest thing ever.
But yeah, I like the odds that like Florida looks terrible again against Ole Miss this weekend and then comes out looking like the greatest football team ever against us
Pretty high.
are high.
I would be
Pretty high.
more surprised if they don't look good against us than I
Yeah.
will if they look bad against us.
I would be more surprised if we won by 10 points than we lost by 10 points.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I
I
also I know we're we're trying to focus on Florida. We've talked a lot about the SEC. Can we talk about Oregon Iowa?
Yes.
I don't
Yes,
know.
of
Did you guys-
course,
I'm not
yes.
sure. I'm not sure.
Camden wanted to call the upset there so
I
bad.
was,
He
I was
tried.
so I was so close, so
For
close.
our social media graphic for Rock Solid, which I am doing so poorly in, I did pick the upset. And dude, when Gronowski ran in that touchdown,
Oh, I was losing
I was
it.
convinced it was over. I have never seen a team that listen. I have seen a team that has an ability to score but cannot actually run offense, and it's because Iowa football exists every year. But
The punting.
there were moments in this game where Gronowski looked good as a passer.
Yes.
The first touchdown where they schemed, I think it was the tight end, wide open, and then the 3rd and 10 backed up inside the 5. He released one, perfect high point. He got it right where his receiver needed it. He only has 138 yards. Like 100 of them are on those 2 throws alone. But dude, there's some like sickly fun thing about watching Iowa's defense every week. It's like
They're
you know
good.
they're gonna get the stop.
You know they're
You
going to
know they're going to get that stop, and you know they're going to make a great team look terrible, and then you know that you are going to hate yourself for staying to watch the offense on the next drive.
Yeah, when Iowa's defense is out there, that's when you're out there with your buddies and you're watching the game. And then the second they go back on offense, you go and grab something from the fridge. You go bathroom break. That's not that entertaining to watch that Iowa offense.
No.
It never is. I will say he's made the offense look much more bearable this year at times. It does not help.
No, not
Does not
really.
help.
The red zone's fun because that's when they start using the legs a lot more.
Mhm.
I think he is either first now. I think he's still second in quarterback rushing touchdowns this year.
He's had 10 straight games with a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
know
like
that
he's
for sure.
good on his legs. It's just like even like Kamari Moulton had a good game, 23 carries, 87 yards, below 4 yards per carry. They just do not, and it's insane given how almost every year their offensive line is good. They seem to not be able to run the ball efficiently.
Mm-mm. Unless there's Caleb Johnson back there last year.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
Caleb Johnson was like,
An anomaly.
Yeah. So he's
that's one of those guys. I cannot
Mhm.
believe how
he's just
he's not gonna
terrible.
make it in the end. Like he's
He's
not even getting
terrible.
touches, but like he also lost them a game by not knowing the kickoff rules.
Yeah.
So
Not fun. So we've
Oregon
had our
looked sorry.
Yeah.
One more time.
one
Just
more
real
time,
quick.
just interrupting.
I'm so sorry.
Get your point
are
across.
we? How do we feel as a group about Oregon?
No.
I don't think Dante Moore's that guy.
They'll win a game in the playoff.
That's fair.
Will they?
I don't think
I
they
think
will.
they will.
It depends who they match
What's
up
the
It
with.
depends on who
bracket?
they match up. Yeah, like what would the bracket be right now?
I mean, comparing them to the other teams that are in the hunt.
They have their first round projected matchup right now is Notre Dame.
Yes, I can
I'm
see them
taking Notre
absolutely
Dame
winning that
easily.
game.
I
could
think
see
Notre
them
Dame.
winning.
Notre Dame has the better quarterback. Is
I
that
take-
a hot take?
I
like
would
CJ
take-
Carr way more.
Oh, 100%.
Well, I'm not sure. Nick, you look like you don't agree.
I don't know if I agree or not because, I mean, Dante Moore pretty much has gotten it done when needed, except for the Indiana game.
Yeah, like I
But
He made some high-level throws on that final drive. I know he looked bad most of the game, but he made 2 or 3 high-level throws.
Situation where like
Yeah.
you look bad most of the game, but when your team needs you most, you look great. But
I don't know. I think that's one
I
we'll
just
have to
think
see.
CJ Carr is really, really good.
But he's been
especially
fantastic
for a
for
freshman.
what he's
or
been.
is he a sophomore?
He's a redshirt
Redshirt freshman,
Redshirt
but
freshman.
for being thrust into that starting
Mhm.
role, I think he's looked phenomenal. It helps when you have Jeremiah Love back there with you, but
I don't know. I think the Oregon defense is questionable. They held Iowa to 16, but it's Iowa. Like,
And the conditions for that game were terrible.
Yeah, it was
the weather
raining.
conditions were bad.
I
So
mean, other
just-
than that, they gave up 30 to Indiana, and no other team has scored. Well, Penn State scored 24 in double overtime, and then next
like,
closest is
here's
14 by
my
Northwestern.
problem that's come up with the Big Ten is like there are 3 good teams in the Big Ten.
That's
and,
it.
and that's like the argument for the Big Ten has been that the elite level teams are elite. With Penn State not being up there, now it's like there are 3 good teams and everybody else is just not very good. USC,
There's a
is
few.
a great
Michigan,
offense, but their defense
Michigan's
is bad.
up
Michigan's
there
defense
too.
is great. The offense is still
Washington
coming
can
around.
be up there.
Not anymore.
No,
Dude,
I will
they
say.
after
they
this
lost to
weekend.
a punter.
I will say
They lost to a punter.
I will say it's not great time to be mentioning that, especially after last week. But they are up there in terms of the better Big Ten teams because they don't have the depth.
Yeah, it's
very top heavy.
It's a struggle to really know how good a Big Ten team is,
until they actually,
especially
face
this year because
somebody.
like there are so few games that I look at and I'm like they beat a good team.
Yeah.
Like Ohio State plays nobody.
They go through the
They play
whole year
Michigan.
not playing one good Big Ten team,
Yeah,
except if you want to count Michigan. If you
yeah,
want to count,
they'll play Michigan. I mean the Big Ten championship is. It's not guaranteed to be Indiana Ohio State yet, but like
It's guaranteed.
It is so guaranteed that you can already bet on it.
But
They're
But-
already lines. Indiana, small underdog, by the way, just in case you were curious, in a potential matchup with Ohio State.
Interesting.
there is a crazy world where I saw it somewhere where Michigan can find their way into the Big Ten championship game
they went out.
if they win out.
They went out. They would need Ohio State to drop
somebody
another one, right?
somebody has to lose
they
a game
No, because
No.
because they play
Because they play
play
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State.
USC would have to lose another one. But
USC would have to lose.
they would
a
have to
game.
win out and beat Ohio State, and USC would have to win another one or lose another one, which I don't think USC's remaining schedule is very great.
they have Iowa. That's a they have Iowa and Oregon. USC's going to lose one.
okay.
They're going to
yeah,
lose one.
They're
going to
lose one at least,
or maybe both.
probably. I would lean towards both.
Is it
honestly.
at Iowa?
It's at USC. Actually,
Maybe not.
But they play at Oregon.
Nah,
and
dude.
Oregon, that's one I feel confident
Yeah.
in
And
saying.
then Oregon-
Oregon's gonna win that
You
one.
unless you're Indiana this year, you do not beat Oregon at home. Like it just
It
it's
doesn't
one
really
of the best,
happen.
if not the. I mean, it's not the best.
It never
environment
rains
in
in
the Big
Autzen
Ten, but
Stadium. It
it's-
never rains.
yeah.
Even if it does rain, it's just river. That's what they say. It's so weird. I've been seeing TikToks on our For You page, but now we've talked about Big Ten and SEC. I would like to talk about the cannibalism that's happening
In the ACC. Oh
right
my
now.
goodness, we called it. We literally called
did-
it.
We have like for as long as I've known Nick Rose, we have talked about how the ACC is somehow both the worst and best football conference.
Dude, it is.
They're the worst because I don't think anybody's actually good aside from maybe Georgia Tech.
They're not
nobody's
even
elite.
good.
Nobody's
They're not
elite.
even good.
But they're
They're
the
all
best
good.
because they're all as good as one another somehow.
It's so funny. Virginia drops, I believe, their first ACC game of the year
Correct.
to Wake Forest. 3 fumbles in that game. Virginia hadn't fumbled the ball once all year before.
Another
that
game
was
with a punt return
wild.
touchdown being a massive part. I believe
Yeah.
Wake took the lead with a punt return, I believe.
Let's see. They took the lead with the field goal. Or never mind. Yeah, they took the lead with the field goal. They started the game off with one.
That's what it was. Okay.
Actually, never mind. They did take the lead. I'm stupid. 88-yard punt return. But Wake Forest, not the best football team. Gave Georgia
Well,
Tech a run for their money.
hey,
a few
they're
weeks
bowl
ago.
eligible.
decent this year.
They've
Wake
actually
Forest is
been
bowl
high.
eligible.
Good for them. That's all I have to say for that.
Listen. Virginia and Auburn are the same team in the sense that
conference.
they are just they flip the result. Auburn loses the one-score game, Virginia wins them. That's
Pretty
literally the
much,
only difference. Like two not great offenses, two really great I mean, unless they're playing Vanderbilt in Auburn's case. Two not great offenses, two great defenses.
I mean, their passing offense is 54.
It's been good.
It's North Texas transfer Chandler Morris.
Yeah, I think I lean on their defense is elite in comparison to the offense.
Absolutely.
I guess is what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Next game on that, Cal going to Louisville in overtime, beating them. JKS, holy cow.
Oh, he's
so good.
I think
really
he's my
good.
favorite quarterback to watch.
That's not crazy. 30 for 47, 323, and 2
slinging it,
touchdowns.
dude.
Just straight slinging it. True freshman lefty. If you haven't caught a Cal game this year, please go and watch a Cal game.
And if you are a Cal fan, relish these because knowing how the portal works,
He is
you may not
gone
have
because
him for long.
he's back to Oregon next year, believe it or not. Remember that whole saga in the offseason? Enrolled in Oregon, realized that he wasn't going to start over Dante Moore, transfers out of Oregon, goes to Cal, and now is the starter and has looked fantastic. He's made himself a ton of money. We'll see if Cal can keep him. I know Jack Glennon was celebrating in our Blue Chip Recruits podcast group chat. He was the Calgorithm, if you will. But that overtime drive, the defense looked fantastic. That overtime drive from Cal was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
4th and goal. Beautiful play call. Little motion, get your guy open on like a zig route type thing to the corner. Beautiful throw. Cal's a good football team, but they find ways to lose games. It's so weird that they're 6-4. Like, how did this team lose by 34 points and get shut out by San Diego State?
Dude,
They're so confusing.
I attribute all of their losses to JKS is awesome, but he's a freshman, so he's inconsistent, and that's
understandable. But it's still like this is the
barely
same
beat
team.
Boston College, by the way, who arguably the worst team in Power 4, Boston College State.
Oklahoma State is by
true,
far worse.
but Boston College is terrible.
They
Boston
barely
College.
beat
They've got
UNC.
Bill O'Brien out there going like, man, this is my first year.
Barely beat Virginia Tech.
Barely beat lost to Virginia
lost
Tech in
Virginia
double
Tech.
overtime. Barely beat UNC. Then holds on to a kind of tight one against Virginia.
Yeah, I think that was a one-score game for a majority of the fourth, and then Virginia pulled away at the end.
Yeah, just they're such a
Barely
weird
beat
team.
UNC too.
And then I want to talk about a team that is 5-4 and is still somehow in conversation for an ACC title appearance. Duke losing to UConn. This is a blue blood basketball matchup.
They
What's happening?
haven't won a conference game against a Power 4 opponent. Duke has not beaten a non-ACC Power 4 team.
I know. So weird. Lost against Illinois. Lost to Tulane, who's not even a Power 5. And then loses to UConn.
UConn's not a Power 5 either.
Like, what is this Duke team? This Duke team is confusing.
We are at the point. I'm a Duke fan for the rest of the year. I want them to win the ACC.
That would be the funniest outcome.
It is the fun because there is a world. If you're 8-4 and you're in the ACC, if you win that championship, there's it's a small chance. It's probably like a 5% chance. There is a chance that they're just like, we're not putting an 8-4 team in. Put another G5 team in there. I
think that is more realistic than people might think, though, because you have a 11-2, say Tulane or USF, who wins the.
And then you have a 12-1 James Madison.
You have a 12-1 James Madison. Those two teams, I bet you, they think are better than Duke, and they put both of them in.
I mean, it would require Duke has to upset Virginia. It is a game at Duke. They do play UNC, big rivalry game, but UNC is not very good at football. Let's be real here.
Little Jazz. Ooh, scary.
And then they have Wake at the end of the year, who for some reason keeps deciding to upset or try to upset ranked teams this year. So Wake is a sneaky spoiler makers type team where they just only play good against teams that are good. But yeah, I like it. It's not impossible. They need some people to lose. Georgia Tech is not likely to be one of those.
Well, they'll lose a game, but just not in conference play. Because they do play
yeah.
Georgia at the end of the year,
But
unfortunately.
it doesn't matter in the race of the ACC championship,
No.
sadly.
But that's the thing, though, is that if Duke does end up winning the ACC championship, there are other teams that are decent enough and have that 10-2 record, perchance, at the end of the year where the committee might feel obligated to put them in. And if you have an at-bid ACC team, there's no way that you're going to have 2 Group of 5 teams in there.
But like even though they don't get an auto bid, the ACC champion has to make it.
Yeah.
They have to be in. So like if Duke runs the table, gets in, if like Georgia Tech is 8 or 10-2,
They have to be in.
if it's
too.
a close game,
Against Georgia, they have to be in.
yeah, but
But you're not going to put 12-1 James Madison over 10-2 Duke. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, you mean 10-2 Georgia Tech?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, the argument would be that they don't put Duke in. Or
Which
that,
would
that
be
they don't
ridiculous. Any ACC team,
any
in,
ACC
which would
team in,
be
which-
blasphemous.
Yeah,
But that would be so funny
Are
to
you
watch.
gonna look me in the eye and tell me you think Duke is a better football team than James Madison?
Yes. Because, I mean, we
I
saw
think you're wrong.
USF got blown out by 37 by Miami. Miami's a good football team, but if no ACC team makes it,
But like
that kind of shows a point there is that
I think
we
at
have
the-
these Group of 5s that play against these bigger schools, and they get thrown away.
Okay,
except
USF also
Florida.
beat Florida. Like I
At
know
Florida, I
Florida's
get
the
that.
worst team in the SEC, quite possibly. Maybe besides Auburn. Florida is not a good football team,
no,
and they weren't
but
there.
like I don't know. I struggle to see an argument for for allowing an 8-4 team or an 8-4 team's going to be in the playoff, and then you're going to look me in the eye and say that the guy they lost to is good enough to be a playoff team, or the guy that they beat is good enough to be a football team or a playoff team. I messed that all up. If
I
you lose
understood
to
what
8,
you meant.
if you
I
lose to
understand what you
8-4
meant.
Duke, you should not be awarded
Well-
for that with a playoff game.
What happens if Georgia Tech wins out the rest of the season, beats Georgia, and then loses in the ACC
They'd be
championship?
They'd
They
be
have
in.
to.
They
They'd
should
have
be
to
in.
be in.
But then you don't have the ACC. If it's Duke, do you have the? Do you
Yeah, you
have?
have to put them in. You have to put them
Yeah,
in.
that's crazy to think about.
They don't have to get the auto buy, but
there
they would
are
have
no
to
auto
be in.
buys.
There
There
are
are
no
no
auto
auto buys
buys.
anymore.
Oh, I'm bugging. My bad.
Yeah,
They
they
changed
got
that.
rid of those.
I'm wrong.
After
because
Boise State got
Boise
the 3
State got one, and they're
seed.
like, hold on here.
Are we sure about that? All right. Anybody else want to talk about any game from last week?
Sorry, Tech BYU. We,
They
Just
thrashed them.
absolute boat race. Like,
Yeah, we have to talk about it, but we don't have to talk.
I
about
mean,
it.
yeah, I think Tech's defense.
Rodriguez is a dude.
Jacob Rodriguez.
He's a dude.
He's
Listen,
so good.
listen, if
So good.
if it was a just world and the award was given to who deserved it the most, I think I would give Jacob Rodriguez the Heisman. Nick's
That's
looking
not
at me
crazy.
like
that's
I'm
not a
not
crazy
crazy.
It's
statement.
not crazy,
That's
but
not
they
a crazy
won't do
statement.
it.
No,
they
they
won't.
won't.
I'm saying in a world where it is given to the most outstanding player in college football, Jacob Rodriguez has earned that right.
7 forced fumbles and 3 interceptions is one of the most absurd stat lines
He
I've
has-
seen in a long time.
He has better stats than Manti Te'o did through the first 10 games of Manti Te'o's Heisman campaign. So I think that the argument should be there. There's just no chance that they give it to a defensive player, which is
A
sad.
defensive player who doesn't also play wide receiver.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what? Texas Tech, Stat Farm. Put him at tight end the rest of the year.
Put him at running back. Let him get some
He
kicks.
played-
Use
he
him
played-
like
he
he's
used to be a
J.J.
running back.
Watt.
He used to be a
Seriously.
running
He
back.
played running back at Virginia. Why not?
Seriously,
Exactly.
that's what they should do. Just give him touchdowns. That's what you need
Bro,
to do.
put him in at the 1. Fullback dive with them every
Tell your
time.
guys to go down at the 1. Don't just put him in at the 1.
Tell 'em to go
Intentionally
down.
go down at the
Milk
1.
some clock. Absolutely. All right. I feel like that covers pretty much every
Yeah.
game. We kind of briefly touched over the Vandy Auburn game, but
I mean, there's not much to talk about.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt's defense is not good. I like the quarterback at Auburn. We mentioned that he looked good. But yeah, Ashton Daniels from Stanford. But like, man, it's Auburn. Let's be real.
I
They're
do have one
terrible.
thing to say. Cam Coleman is going to look great. He's probably going to be wearing crimson next year. He's going to look
ooh, I doubt that.
I
No
think,
I don't know about Crimson.
dude,
I doubt
I-
Crimson.
I think
he's a Bama kid.
But like anything in the Big Ten for him makes more sense because like if you go to Bama, you become like
Public enemy number 1.
even not just for Auburn, like SEC fans in general
Mhm.
don't like when a player transfers to a rival team.
But what
Like,
Big Ten?
like as Tennessee fans, you remember what happened to Toa Toa when he transferred to
That was
Alabama.
crazy.
Like, I had, like, Kentucky fans that were like, I hate that guy.
You don't.
I
Real
think
deep
there's
Southern.
I think there's a very high likelihood he transfers to Alabama. If I'm going to be
I-
completely honest with you, because I don't think there's a I don't he's not going to transfer to Ohio State to be number 2 behind Jeremiah Smith, and I don't think
Why not?
I don't think
I
he
don't
wants
He's gonna
to.
be
do
open.
that.
He's gonna stat pad. If
I don't
he
think
goes
he
there.
wants to.
What about like a team like Oregon?
He could go to Oregon. I could see
The
that.
quarterback
It
question
depends on
is
the
a problem
quarterback
for
though.
Oregon.
But Bama's
It's gonna be JKS at Oregon. It's just going
He
to be.
is so serious
What
about
Dude, it's going to be. If we saw how his recruitment played out, we know what is going to happen here.
Is it crazy to say he could end up at Indiana?
I
It's-
think
it's
so.
Surratt. By the way,
Surratt-
we
I
didn't
think
mention
Surratt's done.
Yeah, Surratt's done.
Omar Cooper can come back.
Omar Cooper, I wanted to touch on that. We didn't. He is so underrated. He's their leading receiver. I know Surratt's got like 10 touchdowns.
He's been hurt
Omar
too.
Cooper is sneakily very, very, very good. Anyways, Cam Coleman, that class of receivers, whenever they're coming,
Oh my
whenever
gosh.
they're coming into the NFL,
Oh my
I
goodness.
mentioned a few weeks ago, I love getting like all nerded out about the NFL draft. I can already tell you that's one of those classes where like 3
Dude,
receivers
that's gonna
could
be
go
a
top 10.
fantastic
Cam Coleman,
class.
Jeremiah Smith, sort of Ryan Williams.
Well, Ryan
No,
Williams
I
at
would
his
say
peak,
yes, Ryan
if you
Williams.
will.
I don't,
Like,
Ryan
he
Williams'
has
hand.
to look great
Ryan
next year.
Williams' hands are a huge concern. He had another bad drop against LSU this
Yeah.
week.
He also had a really nice touchdown catch.
Great-
I don't know if you
great-
saw it.
He's a great route runner. I love Ryan Williams as like a go win your matchup against man.
He's not the physical specimen that
He's-
Julian's.
yeah. Like,
Jeremiah Smith
I-
and Cam are.
I think Cam Coleman is way better than Ryan Williams.
I do too.
Like I
Yeah.
think there's a
Yeah.
significant gap.
I can agree with that.
Absolutely. All right. Now that we've gotten everything out the way of last week, gonna look ahead. Week 12 is it that we're in now?
Week 12.
Week 12. Welcome to Week 12, gentlemen. Almost at the end of the season. It is homecoming here for Tennessee. They face New Mexico State. Hopefully can take care of business, but we're going to be talking about some other games. I want to go ahead and start first. Kentucky has a $600,000 buy game against an undefeated Tennessee Tech
The
program.
Golden Eagles, baby.
The Golden Eagles.
Shout out to the Golden Eagles.
Dude. This would be by far the funniest outcome of the entire year. If Kentucky goes and blows out Florida, then has a bye game against Tennessee Tech and finds a way to lose that game, do you think Mark Stoops is fired?
Dude,
100%.
oh my God. I think you could
100%.
fire anybody just for losing. Like Tennessee Tech, I've been to a Tennessee Tech game this year. They're fun to watch. If you lose a football game to Tennessee Tech as a Power 4 coach, let alone as the head coach of an SEC school, it should be automatic grounds for firing. You don't get a second chance. You
No.
leave immediately.
No matter how good the last 2 games for Kentucky have been, I know they only beat Auburn 10-3,
Mm-hmm.
but then they boat race Florida this week. This loss undoes any of the rebuilding or resume building that Mark Stoops has done if they were to lose this game.
I gotta be honest with you. The fact that there's like some people that are trying to trick themselves and being like, hey, Kentucky's put up a fight. This is what Billy Napier did last year, and it didn't work out for Florida either. Let him go before you make a choice that you're gonna regret.
Are they willing to pay that buyout though?
I think they will be.
You have to figure it out.
They will be. They'd have to be.
I
Take it down year in basketball. Get rid of Stoops.
see. I thought they would be too, but the fact they didn't fire him earlier this year after all their losses before they went on this little run. I don't know if they're willing to pay it. I don't think they're willing to sacrifice basketball funding or anything like that.
I wonder if the buyout decreases after the season ends. That's the case with a lot of those contracts. Like where you see it in the NFL all the time, they have to hold on to a guy until the 1st of June when technically
Mhm.
the new year starts. Like that would be
Maybe.
too late to hire a coach, but maybe it's like after the playoffs are over, after the
Yeah.
national championship date, it
Mhm.
rolls over and the buyout's a little less.
Maybe.
But I mean, they could definitely catch Kentucky sleeping and looking ahead to Vanderbilt and
easily.
Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean, those 2 ranked matchups after this one, so they're definitely going to be at least have some eyes in that game because you just can't afford not to with how good those teams have looked over the year. I think Tennessee Tech has a chance to play spoiler to Mark Stoops and his reign at Kentucky and how bad he's been.
Listen, win or lose, Kakoa Visparis, that is how you say it. he's gonna get some eyes on him. Like, who is that guy?
Who's gonna pay the money for him next year?
Like, I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna like make the jump to power 4, but there are gonna be some G5 teams watching this game really good on his feet. He's their 3rd leading rusher, but he's got almost 450 yards on the year.
Mm-hmm.
Running quarterbacks are not something Kentucky has necessarily looked great against this year. I think it'll be really interesting to see.
Ooh, does he have eligibility? I think he does. I think he has one more year.
Too. But like,
it says he's a senior on ESPN.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Gunnar Stockton, 48 yards, 2 touchdowns on 6 attempts against Kentucky. And I wouldn't even say he's as good of a runner as
what Joey have against
Joey
Kentucky?
had some rushing yards too.
I feel like
Joey
did
do. I feel like he might have had his best game on the ground against a Power 4 team at least.
I mean, yeah, as you said, 440 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns on 77 attempts.
Well, Joey did not run well against Kentucky.
Yeah.
3 carries, which I'm assuming are all sacks because he had -6 yards.
But Kakoa Vesperis, is that how you say it?
Yes, Kakoa Vesperis. He's got
Watch
an
out.
arm.
Watch out.
Like, it's something you see, like, it pops in
Oh,
person.
he wears number 0. Yuck. Yuck. Number 0 on quarterbacks is like that one number that I will never, like, learn to like.
What about 47?
Yeah, what about 47?
47's not good. I'd take that over 0, I think.
You are insane.
0 has to be a skill player.
But, like,
Off topic. All right. Anybody else have another game that they want to talk about for this upcoming week?
I mean, obviously the big one.
There's two big ones.
There's 2 big ones. Do you want to talk about Oklahoma or Texas first?
I was going to talk about Texas, Georgia.
Texas, Georgia. I think that is the bigger one.
You're
college
right.
game day game.
It's not where college game day is, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm flustered right now. But the points. No, I was thinking of the Josh Pate tour, the every Saturday tour. That's where Josh Pate's going. That's what I saw on Twitter.
I think they're going to Pitt. I think
Pitt Notre Dame.
Okay, in my defense, what are we doing? College game day? That's ridiculous.
They've already gone to a Bama.
I don't care.
And they've already gone to a
I
Texas
don't
game,
care.
I
Pitt
agree.
Notre Dame's going to be a good game.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You like that?
Pat Narduzzi said we can get blown out by 100, and he'd go home with a smile on his face. So I don't.
You know what?
I hate him. I do not. I don't like Pat Narduzzi.
Pat Narduzzi needs to prove it. Go out there and tank the game. I want your backup in the game, backup O lineman. If you don't care about losing, prove it. Go out there and lose.
Dude.
If you don't care, don't send a starter out there.
I mean, I understood his point. Like, technically, his point is correct.
Yeah.
But
his point is
it's
Notre Dame should be a conference opponent, and they're not, which is dumb.
But it's still,
Well,
he could have worded
all
it
that
better.
money. They can't get rid of all that money.
Going back to Texas, Georgia.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that is how it started. I think it's make or break time, obviously, for Arch Manning in Texas. Arch has looked very good in the recent games, but once again, it hasn't been against necessarily the best defenses, especially Mississippi State. But Georgia's defense has shown at times this year to be very gettable. Ole Miss got him. Tennessee got him. Mississippi State looked decent in the beginning, but they kind of just clamped them down. But I think that was more of the offense just wearing down Mississippi State's defense and keeping the ball out of Shapen's hands. So it's going to be interesting. I think Texas receivers can get after the Georgia secondary. I'm not that huge of a fan of the Georgia secondary this year, especially Ellis Robinson. He has struggled a lot.
They are missing Malachi Starks up.
Yes, they are. Mm-hmm. Dalen Everett hasn't looked great. I thought KJ Bolden would take more of a step than he has. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing for their defense is their pass rush has been non-existent. Like, they got 3 sacks versus State last week, and if you would have gone on Twitter, you would have thought they had 10. By the way, their fan base was reacting, so.
To be fair, that's how Georgia reacts to every game.
That is fair.
Every game is proof that they should be ranked number 1 and that the stats are a lie.
But I think
their leading sack getter 3.5 on the year.
You got to watch all 22.
It's not even an edge rusher. It's C.J. Allen out of the Mike spot.
I mean, they've lost so much talent.
All
on defense.
3 of their leading sack getters, everybody to have more than 1 is from an off-ball linebacker position.
That's insane.
They have 3 dudes with 2 sacks or more. All of them are off-ball.
They lost so much talent. This is definitely
this
different
is the first
Georgia
year where
defense.
they've always lost a lot of talent. Like I think it was 2022 when Philly decided they were going to draft 5 different defensive starters, and somehow they lost even more talent this year than that.
Well, they lost talent and didn't have talent to back it up.
Yeah,
this
true.
year for the first time.
Yeah.
I think this is like one of the first years where you can see NIL existed back then when they were winning natties, but I think this is where you can see like the talent, you know.
It's more split.
Yeah, it's more split across college football. I think you can see that, especially on the interior. But Gunnar Stockton's a dog. Zachariah Branch is finally playing like that 5-star that he was out of high school. He's finally doing more than just catching screen passes. So their offense is rolling. Nate Frazier looked really good last week. He's kind of fallen off a little bit, especially to my expectations with Chauncey Bowens getting a lot of the touches. But if Nate Frazier can hold on to the football, which is a big if for him, he's a very electric player. So I'm very excited for it. I think it's going to be high scoring because I don't like that Texas secondary at all, and I don't like that Georgia secondary that much, to be honest. So I think Arch Manning can give them a lot of trouble, and I'm very curious to see if Texas wins, they got the inside shot to the playoffs. So I'm very excited for it.
If Texas wins, I think it would be real hard for them to not be in.
Even if
they lose to A&M?
Yeah. Even if they lose to A&M.
I think a loss here is probably a long shot to make it. A win here is like even with
it's
win
like a
over
guarantee.
Yeah, here like Georgia, like even though Texas A&M is rated higher, there's like always just that like Georgia has been there before, and we know that they're going to show up in the playoff.
They've done it before. They have the track record of doing it
in Athens.
If you're beating them in Athens,
you deserve to.
That's fair.
To make it there, even if you do have.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be tough for a 3-loss team to get in either way.
Well, with how the ACC looked, I'm not so sure about that.
But that's the thing. If somebody other than Georgia Tech wins it, ACC gets 2 teams in. Maybe if Georgia Tech goes 2 or goes 10-2.
That means if Georgia Tech
happened last year,
that means that there's a good chance that like an SEC team or a 10-2 team somewhere else has to miss out because Georgia Tech and 8-4 Duke are in. It doesn't have to be
Utah,
Duke.
I will be so unhappy. I would be so upset if Devin Dampier misses the playoffs because Georgia Tech can't find a way to win.
The limelight of the
Devin Dampier. There's no way Utah makes the playoff when they lose to Baylor this weekend.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that. I'm trolling.
The spread is not crazy. The spread is not insane. What is it? 6, 5.5, 8.5?
It is in Waco though, so
it is in Waco. I just don't see a way. Utah, please.
Anyway, if it's 5.5, Utah.
It's 8.5. Utah.
It's 7.5. Utah. I was about to say if they are favored over Baylor as much as Georgia is favored over Texas, that's crazy.
Sawyer Robertson legacy game.
But yeah, I think it comes down to is Gunnar Stockton a better quarterback than Texas pass defense is willing to give up? Because even though we don't love the secondary of Texas, the second level, those linebackers are really great in pass coverage. And I think it like a defense would without their starting linebackers, their defense would be bad. Mm-hmm. With their starting linebackers, it's one of the best in the country. Can Gunnar Stockton make those throws on the inside? Can Zachariah Branch get open over the inside whenever he does break in on his routes? Mm-hmm. I think that's genuinely the story of the game is who wins the inside when Gunnar and Georgia are on offense. I think Gunnar Stockton is a better quarterback than the Texas linebackers can handle. I would take Georgia, but it's really close.
It is really close.
Yeah.
Which I can't imagine I would have said 2 weeks ago. It's funny how much 2 big wins can help Texas.
I know, and how much of a competent quarterback that Arch Manning looks like can help Texas.
I know. He looks like a different guy.
He does.
He just looks way better.
Do you think it was an injury thing?
I'm almost curious. No, I'm almost curious if it wasn't just a confidence thing.
He just looks calm.
He looks a lot. Yeah,
like his feet are not as erratic as they were. He just looks composed in the pocket.
He was struggling early on with making the short throws and like he was better deep than he was short in the first few weeks. And now it's like he's not missing short, middle, or deep. He's nails all over the field. Yeah, he looks great, and I think Ryan Wingo is a little bit better than Branch personally, but I understand why people would disagree with that. So like I think the talent around Arch is ever so slightly better than the talent around Gunnar. But again, everything is close here. Mm-hmm. I think the big difference is I think Gunnar is still a better quarterback than we've seen Arch be the last few weeks.
I agree with that. Yeah, and it's in Athens. That's just the biggest thing for me.
It's going to be tough to conduct an offense and look as good as he has the last few weeks in Athens.
Because when Athens gets going, especially late in fourth quarters, you saw versus Ole Miss, it just suffocates teams. Like, It's like they can't tread water late in fourth quarters. They can't pick up a first down. And Arch, he has looked more composed in the last couple weeks, but if it's make or break time late in the fourth quarter and the crowd's rocking, that band's blaring, I could see him getting rattled.
Especially if it's like a must-pass situation.
Yes.
If they've got to go like 5 wide or they've got to send a running back out into the flat, I'm taking the Georgia defense.
Especially
Over
with Texas's
from-
inability to run the ball a lot this year.
Mhm.
Which is so weird because
Yeah.
the group is talented.
It is.
And the
almost
line is
feels-
not-
Weisner's so good.
And,
Like
and
he's
it's not
such
like
a
the
talented
line
back.
is bad at run blocking. It's just like, for some reason, it just feels like you don't even really care if they run the ball, which is insane because like we like the talent, we like the blocking, and it's just like
Yeah.
they're not efficient, and there's really no explanation why other than just like it might be the RPO thing.
I
maybe.
think it is.
I
partly.
I hate the RPO. Like Steve Sarkisian has done to football something that makes me hate that man to the bottom of my heart. I hate the RPO heavy, super like short screens or deep bombs and no in between. Everybody does it now, but I blame Sarkisian for a lot of it. And I think like linebackers buy into that. They know it's either going to be something short, and if they're not covering something short, it's probably a run. So linebackers are better at stopping it because they can anticipate it a little better.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about that game.
Yeah.
We have.
Moving to a different game, we talked briefly about the Virginia Duke game and their situations they play. That's going to be a very interesting one. Another interesting one, Group of 5, USF Navy, both 7-2 currently. USF is the current team in out of the Group of 5, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think USF is going to boat race them.
I think they're going to give
Oh,
him
yeah, I
belt.
don't think it's going to be.
Yeah,
good.
Navy's
The spread's
Navy's
9.5.
just not good.
I would take USF. I would make it bigger.
Is Horvath healthy? Because
I don't think it
Does
matters.
it matter?
I don't think it
does.
matters.
I think it matters a little bit.
I
I
mean,
still
it
think
matters,
USF
obviously.
wins, but like if Horvath doesn't play, you might as well not even watch the game.
True. Let's see.
Shout out to Alex. Is it Tezca? How do you pronounce it? Texa? The
Tesca.
fullback. They say he's a
Tesca.
running back. That man is
He
a
is.
fullback in a running back's body. He's like a bowling ball of human. But I mean, it'll be fun to watch for the first quarter, and then after that, it'll probably be like, oh yeah, the flex bone is not cool to watch actually.
Byron Brown is running for 170 yards. But
Probably.
Conservatively, 170 yards.
Let's
Might be
see.
more.
Other good games. I mean, before we touch on the other really big game,
I mean,
let's see.
I think
Notre Dame Pitt.
I think
Notre
the
Dame
Notre
Pitt's a
Dame
good
Pitt
one.
game is going to be a lot better than people are expecting it to be.
I agree.
I think Pitt has flown under the radar a little bit this season, and I think that's mostly due to the fact that they lost an early game in the season to a bad West Virginia team.
That lost to Ohio.
Yeah.
They lost
but-
to Ohio. I forgot about that.
Yeah. But
How do
Pitt's
you lose to Ohio?
Pitt's offense is really high powered. They score 40 points a game. They
I
have
mean,
a-
Desmond Reed is really good.
yeah.
he is. And since they've switched from Holstein,
Mhm.
that freshman Heinzel has been lining it up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the strength of Notre Dame's defense is their run defense, and they have a middle of the pack pass defense, and Pitt likes to air it out a lot. So I think that this game is probably going to be a shootout because, I mean, Notre Dame can score the ball.
Yeah.
They're rushing. They have the best running back tandem in the nation, and I don't think it's really close. I think Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price are elite.
I might take Jamal Roberts and Mar Hardy. It's close, but I think I think Ahmad's had it. Like I think talent wise, Jeremiah Love's a better back.
Mhm.
I think Ahmad's had a better season. I think Jamal Roberts has had a better season as well.
I mean, the Notre Dame backs have combined for 1,800 yards and 28 touchdowns.
True.
That's
I mean,
that's
that
pretty dang
production is
good.
wild. From
Okay.
from
speaking
getting
of
production from your quarterback too.
speaking of the Notre Dame running backs, Pittsburgh's run defense is about middle of the pack in the ACC. They allow 124 yards a game. That's where I think this could get shaky and why people are expecting a blowout. I don't think it's because of the name power of Notre Dame. I think it's because of the name power of Jeremiah Love.
Yeah.
And it feels like he's getting better every week. Like they're
Yeah.
like the
Yes.
Because
first,
they didn't give it to him that much
the
the first few
weeks
weeks.
he's getting like 10 carries, and you're like, why is he not touching the ball more? Now he's touching the ball more, and shocker,
They're good.
Jeremiah Love is like one of the best running backs in the country.
He's probably the best running back in this draft class.
Likely to-
100%.
Oh, it's not close.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
He's the best NFL draft
yeah.
prospect running back.
First round pick, and there probably won't be a guy until off the board until middle of the second. Like Singleton had some first round buzz before the year started.
I still think
and he
he's
played.
good.
He
I still
played
think
really
he's
well
good.
on.
Yeah, I think Singleton's great. I think it's just a matter of like running back is such a volatile position, and like
He split those carries though his entire tenure at Penn State, so he doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot of wear and tear.
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think he's great. I just think like
They're not going to.
Especially-
Yeah, I understand. what
it
you're
would
saying.
have to be like the only way he sneaks into the first is if like the Chiefs are just like we're tired of Kareem Hunt.
I think the thing with Singleton is I'm not as big of a fan of his because I think if it's a question of if you're the best running back on your football team, all 4
Oh, I
years
think it's
in
without a
college,
doubt that he is, but
I don't. I think
I
Katron Allen's.
disagree.
I think
I
Katron
disagree.
Allen's better.
Absolutely not.
I think Katron Allen's this year. Katron Allen is better, and I don't think it's very close.
I don't want to box score watch, but I am gonna look at the stats just to like make sure I'm not like
I am back score watching with this. I'm pretty sure Katron Allen has done significantly better than Nick Singleton. This year.
I've admittedly I have watched very few. Penn State
I don't know
But-
why you'd put yourself through the displeasure of watching
Oh
Penn State
yeah,
football.
no, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's
How many? What are the rushes?
736 yards to 363.
How many carries though? Is it about the same?
138 to 92. So it's a big difference.
It's a
but
big difference.
But he's averaging.
But the average yards
1.5 yards more carry.
3.9.
That's fair.
Singleton's not getting the ball because he can't get any rushing yards when he does get the ball.
Singleton's being used a lot more in the red zone because he has 9 touchdowns and Katron has 10, which is probably a little unfair to Katron. If you're that much of a lead back, you should be getting more red zone touches.
And to give Singleton some credit, I think the offense Penn State does run is more suited to like a bigger back
Mm-hmm.
in Katron Allen. So I think it's more of a it's not that I don't like Singleton. I think it's just I really like Katron Allen and I have for a while. I think
Mhm.
he's a great running back. He's not a great pro prospect compared to Singleton, but he is very fun to watch. But how did this conversation start?
We were talking about Notre Dame and Pitt.
Yes.
The Notre Dame run game against Pitt. Do you think it's like, how do you feel?
I think Jeremiah Love is. I think they're going to wear him down. I think in the first half it might be close, and I think Pitt might be able to stuff him a couple times, keep it restricted. But I think as the game goes on, C.J. Carr maybe gets going, and they have to unload the box a little bit. I think Jeremiah Love and Price are just going to be too much. And if they do stop the run game, I'm not that confident they're going to be able to stop C.J. Carr the entire time. So I just think the Notre Dame offense versus Pitt defense just a mismatch in general.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think Pitt can score, so I think it's going to be close because I really like Pitt's offense. I just don't know if Pitt's going to get enough stops to win the game.
That's fair.
That's fair. Just while we were talking about Singleton and just the draft with the running backs in general, most places do not have Nicholas Singleton in the top 3 for the backs anymore. It's
Very
a lot of it is Jeremiah Love, Jonah Colton, and then Justice Haynes, and then Jadarian Price, and then both of the Penn State backs is what it looks like. For
Someone's
going to
get a steal with them though.
Yeah, I agree. I think someone's getting a steal with Jadarian Price and Katron Allen too. To be fair.
Back to college football talk. The other big game of the week, Oklahoma, Alabama.
This is a classic defense versus defense game.
It is. I'm going to love it.
Can Ty
It's gonna be
Simpson
like
look good?
It's going to be 17
That's the real
to 13,
question.
and everybody's going to be like, "This game was terrible."
Yeah, unless we can see Ty Simpson dial it in. If he dials it in, how far up the
What's the
Heisman do you
best
jump in?
defense he's dialed it in against?
It's a fantastic question.
Tennessee.
Okay.
Jesus. Would you say he was dialed in versus Missouri?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
played
he was
you
really-
remember that fourth down throw
Yeah.
where he layers it right over the top of the DB's hands on fourth down? Oh, dude, it's one of the best throws of the year.
He
Like,
was yeah.
Mendoza has like just outpaced him in highlight throws,
Yeah.
but that throw was one of those that's just like you can't defend it.
He was dialed in the first half versus Georgia, too. He was lining it up first half. And I
But
know
that Georgia defense in the first half is
very
different
Georgia
animal
in
than the
general in the
second
first
half.
half, we've said, not a very good football team for some reason.
But can the Oklahoma offense do enough? Because they
I
didn't
don't
do
think
anything
so.
versus Tennessee, really. Let's be real. They didn't do much until like the very end of that game with that long play and the rushing touchdown. They had their defense pretty much score for them during the Tennessee game.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in Oklahoma in general. I think the defense is great. The defense has been great for the last few years, and they're just going to keep cycling through transfer quarterbacks, being like, "This is the year, this is the guy," And every year it's going to be like, they're going to be good, but they're never going to be good
Give me
enough.
Michael Hawkins, homegrown quarterback.
But yeah, I just like watching Oklahoma's offense. There are very few offenses, especially for those in the top 25. I enjoy watching less. Like I'd rather but just because of like the novelty factor of how bad it is, I'd rather watch Iowa's offense than Oklahoma's. Iowa's offense is so bad, it's kind of fun to watch. Oklahoma's offense is just bad and boring.
Yeah.
The receivers can't get separation. They can't run the ball very well at all. Jaden Ott has been a no-show this year, which was
That's
one of the more like
Okay.
confusing things I've seen this year.
Jaden Nott has been good one time in 4 years now. He has been a good running back for one single season.
I mean, the Cal season before last year,
That's the
he was
season
pretty,
when he was good.
He was good. Last year at Cal, he was still pretty good, though, no?
He was all right. He was okay. He wasn't as good as he was the year before.
He had 116 carries, 385 yards, 4 touchdowns.
He was good his freshman year. I think you're disrespecting his freshman year a little bit.
He had 800 yards, 8 touchdowns his freshman year. He was fine. I mean, he's better than fine. He's good.
Fine.
I just like
He's all right.
Yeah.
I felt like when he got to Oklahoma in the portal and everybody was like, this is the missing piece for Oklahoma's offense.
That was an
a bit
overreaction.
much. Like, I mean, a guy who was struggling at Cal last year, even like when he was healthy, before he started to get banged up, he wasn't very good. And like afterwards, I mean, he's fallen off. He's gotten worse as a receiver every year.
Man, I wish he would have stayed one more year. We could have gotten JKS with Ott. That would have
been
That would have been fun.
I think that would have unlocked Ott's game again. Honestly,
Yeah.
if he stayed healthy, it would have easily because
He spells his name without an E. It's Jaydn.
Yeah,
Ott.
it's weird.
How have I never noticed that?
It's very weird.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think
I think
neither of these teams can run the ball.
No,
I'm
and,
sorry.
and
I'm
that's
just like
that's what I hate about Alabama is that their run offense is absolutely terrible, and they're still finding a way to win games. That's why I am not a believer of them like going into the postseason. I know that they're probably going to make the playoff, and I know that it's Alabama and they can always find a way to perform. Like, and that's why they're successful is because they can win close games unless your name is Georgia. So I think that, like, I'm just not a believer in Alabama's run defense or run offense at all.
I'm not a believer in either of these teams to run the ball. I think that's what kind of upsets me so much about these teams. Is like both of these teams are overly reliant on the pass, and Oklahoma can't really pass either. I mean, let's be honest.
They're just bad offensively.
They're just bad offensively, and like at least Alabama, like I mean, from the perspective of if you like to watch a quarterback air it out, Ty Simpson's going to throw a deep ball or two every game.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of if it connects. But like if it's not connecting, this is going to be a really tough game to watch from the perspective of offense. But I think the defenses will look fun, which will make it watchable regardless.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's going to be able to get after Ty Simpson. I'm still not that big of a fan of Alabama's offensive line. And I know Caden Proctor's this projected first-round pick, but speed rushers have been shown that they can get after Proctor. He has not handled speed rushers very well. And I think Oklahoma has enough dudes at defensive end. They don't really have necessarily like speed rush guys like a Cassius Howell. But I think if R. Mason Thomas is healthy, which I'm not sure he's going to be after getting hurt versus Tennessee, but if R. Mason Thomas is healthy, I think they can get after Simpson. And I think their secondary is very good. I like their safeties a lot. But Alabama's going to get some short fields because Mateer's going to throw some picks. They're going to fumble the ball. Mateer's probably – it's just they can't do anything offensively. And
I know.
And I don't really understand. I mean, I understand why. It's because Mateer's not very good right now. But I just don't see a way where Oklahoma can go into Bryant-Denny and win, especially with how that offense has looked. I think they can keep it within 10 or 7, but I just don't see them being able to score. Like, if they score more than 17 points, I will be floored. I do not think.
And it's not because the Alabama defense is great.
Yes,
it's because they can't move the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't move the ball in Knoxville, and Alabama's defense is a lot better than it is in Tennessee's is. So,
yeah, I think to your point, if R. Mason Thomas is healthy, that's where you'll see a lot of quick game from Alabama, quick wide receiver screens, quick hits over the middle to the tight ends. Jeremy Bernard is going to have a bunch of catches either way. He's going to get a lot of targets. Ryan Williams, probably less so, just because he's not as great as a playmaker with the ball in his hands as Jeremy is. So I think big Jeremy Bernard game. Outside of that, I'm not really sure that there's any other guarantee in this other than it's going to be an ugly game.
It's going to be one where you're going to want to turn your TV off.
But you
have to watch.
You never do.
You have to watch it because of how it's going to play out.
Sorry.
I think it's going to be – I think genuinely
– Are you kidding me?
I think it could genuinely be an exact copy of the LSU game from last week. Like, I think
Probably.
it could be a
Probably.
very similar game.
Yeah.
I think Mateer might be able to make one more play because his pocket awareness is a lot better than Nussmeier. Nussmeier's just bad, man. But I think it's going to be legit a copy and paste of last week's game, except I think Oklahoma might score 14 instead of 9. I just don't – I don't trust Bama as a whole right now. And it's kind of bizarre because I think they're going to win out, but I just don't think they're that great.
They're not well-rounded
Yes.
on offense.
There's too many flaws.
Where's the Iron Bowl this year?
It's in
Auburn.
it's at Auburn. Yeah, it's
If
at
it's
Auburn.
at Jordan Hare, I might take Auburn.
No.
I'm sorry. Dude, the defense has been so good all year.
Their offense
And they
finally
keep
looks
losing
like
one-score
something.
games.
Kidding.
The offense was fine.
It'd be
It was
typical
great.
Auburn fashion to beat
It would be-
Alabama.
Auburn is so bad in comparison to Alabama right now that it somehow makes more sense for them to win than ever.
Cam Coleman legacy game.
Yeah.
Cam Coleman can feast on that secondary.
Cam
Yeah,
Coleman's last
that's-
game
that's
before
what it would
he
be.
transfers to Alabama.
That'd be
It's the
foul.
Cam Coleman Bowl. Whoever wins gets to get him.
Whoever wins gets him, or whoever loses gets him. Because if Auburn wins, I think it's more likely he transfers after that
Probably.
game.
Because that probably means he had a fantastic game.
Yeah.
All right, one last game two. I want to touch on two real quickly. Big 12, BYU lost to Texas Tech. They play TCU this week. 4.5-point favorites. What do we think about that one?
I think Josh Hoover can do some damage against BYU.
Where is the game?
It's in Provo, I believe.
If it's in Provo, then they're especially
It's in Provo.
10:15 p.m. I know that's 8:15 for them because of Mountain Time.
Yeah.
But night game in Provo, I don't see a way where TCU wins this game.
They ain't got nothing else to do. Everybody's going to be at the stadium,
Everybody's going to be there. I agree.
I think Josh Hoover is very good, and I think they're going to be able to keep it close because I just don't trust Bachmeier that much right now. I know he's been good throughout the season, but I think every time they've played like a somewhat decent opponent, he's looked just okay. Like, and I don't want to say he looked bad last week because he was a freshman, but I don't think he's been that great. So I think they have a quarterback advantage. So we'll see though.
And then the final one, it's going to be a Conference USA game. Kennesaw State goes to Jacksonville State, 7-2 versus 6-3, the top Conference USA teams.
Cam
Does
Cook.
Jacksonville
I love
State
Cam
put a dent into this Kennesaw State run? Because Jack State looking pretty good. Cam Cook, as you guys have been chanting around me. Kennesaw State last week barely beats New Mexico State. Probably the worst game of the season for Amari Odom for the Owls. That's going to be a good game to keep an eye on. I mean, it's tough not to go with Kennesaw State because of how good they've looked, but they're 2-2 away from home. And Jacksonville State's 3-0 at home. Just a little something to look out for. Anybody want to contribute anything on that? Do we know enough about that other than just Cam Cook?
On a real note about Cam Cook, I apologize. It is about Cam Cook still. The Kennesaw State run defense is not great. They allow 150 yards a game, and Cam Cook has done way worse damage to teams that are way better at stopping the run.
I mean, but it's still it's a Josh Heupel disciple at head coach, so that defense is never going to be great, never going to be elite.
And that clock management might be questionable.
We'll see. Jerry Mack, former running back coach under Heupel.
Also, Jack State run defense, a lot better than probably people give them credit for. They're the second best run defense in Conference USA. Kennesaw State leans on the run. They have 1,500 rushing yards and 1,900 passing yards. If anybody in Conference USA is going to stop them, it's probably La Tech. But if anybody else is going to stop them after La Tech, it's Jacksonville State.
That is a fair point. I mean, they do like to run a lot of quarterback. They love to run their quarterback a lot.
They've loved to run them even when they were bad last year. I remember MTSU played them, and one of their players in his post-game presser was like, well, we knew when the white one was in, they were going to pass. And I feel like if I finish the rest of that sentence,
Let's
it feels
not.
racist.
Let's not.
But
We'll stay away from there.
They would put in. He was like 5'8", and he passed like less than 20% of the time he was in at quarterback. It was
I know.
awesome.
I remember because that was a lot of people's first dynasties in college football.
Dude,
25.
yeah, he was my QB1. He couldn't throw worth anything.
No, I put
But he
that
was
back
fun to
up
run
in there
around with.
immediately. I put the backup in there, let him go to work. But
one more game
one
before
more.
we move on.
Who do you have for us, Logan?
I gotta find it again. Iowa USC.
That is a good one.
Is it going to be a good game?
I think this is. I mean, it's simple. Is the USC offense good enough to score 20 points? Because honestly, if they score like 18, they'll probably win. But like, point being, how do you guys think? How do you think it'll go?
Given the fact that it's in Southern California, if it was in the rough Iowa weather, I would go and lean the Hawkeyes. But since it's out in sunny California, I think Lincoln Riley has it under his belt to call up a good enough game to beat Iowa, especially
I agree.
on the defense.
Lincoln Riley's name may come up later. Just a little teaser.
I also think Lemon's a better receiver than anyone that Oregon had out there last week, especially with Moore being banged up. And I like my Iowa a lot. I just think that offense is going to be a little too much for them to handle. I still don't trust a Lincoln Riley defense, but does it even matter at all?
No,
Against it does
I was
not.
going to have
Not against
200
Iowa.
yards, 150 will be rushing, and you'll wonder if the forward pass was a mistake. Because they certainly seem to think so.
I mean, he is, the longest tenured FBS head coach currently?
Kirk Ferentz?
True?
I think so.
I think
Oh,
he is.
Kirk,
Yeah,
sorry,
he is.
yeah, I was like,
Not
whoa.
Lincoln Riley, no.
I was like, whoa.
No. But
yeah, Ferentz has been there since.
Ferentz has been there since turn of the decade, I think.
Yeah, I think 98, 99 was his first year. So
he has
That's insane.
the track record.
all of his kids are on staff.
Yeah, we know.
Every single one of them.
Shout out his son.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
former offensive
yeah.
coordinator.
98-99 season was his first year. So
Yeah. So
Kirk
he's been around
Ferentz has been
forever.
there since Tennessee started its national championship drought.
Started its Nike and went back to Oregon since the BCS. He's been there forever.
He has been there since Tennessee won a national championship last. That's
sounds
how long
like
it's
Iowa
been.
needs a new head coach.
That's what
Keep-
I was just
Yeah.
about to say that.
Get him out of there.
All right, we talked about future games, talked about past games. Let's talk a little bit about these head coach openings. I want to hear about one or two guys that you think could potentially be a name to look out for that will do well at their next job.
I mean, I threw the teaser out there. We might as well start there. I've heard Lincoln Riley's name a lot more than I have probably all season because, like, let's be honest, like USC has been fine, but like Lincoln Riley has kind of like flown under the radar for the first time. Feels like because they're just like fine and everybody's just like good for him. You know, there's no reason to really go after him. But Josh Pate brought up Lincoln Riley's name quite a few times, referencing the Florida and LSU jobs. I would struggle to see him going to Florida. LSU makes a lot more sense to me. In general, though, I think it's not a coincidence that so many people that are big in media, especially college football media, are like, just wait and look at Lincoln Riley's name. I think it's not a mistake.
I think he'd make a great offensive coordinator somewhere.
I agree. I think LSU would make a huge mistake hiring him
I
as
don't
head
know
coach.
if head coach would be quite right again to move from a different job from USC because where he's at currently is fantastic. They don't really care about football all that much out there at USC right now or UCLA. They're not really filling the stadium. They're not doing much noise. I mean, they'll contend every once in a while. They'll look competent. I mean, we saw it with USC this year. But they're not going to make any national championship noise, I don't feel like.
Yeah,
they
I
should
agree.
be. But not under
Every
Lincoln
year,
Riley, they will.
That is the Lincoln Riley thing, right? Like, they should be great. They're not. I'm not really sure why, but they're not.
And I don't think he'd be able to recruit in Louisiana. Like he'll always be able to get quarterbacks. But on defense, those LSU kids and those Southern kids, why would they ever trust Lincoln Riley and go play defense for him? Not once in his career, not ever. And he had 5-star talent at Oklahoma. He had some 5-star talent at USC. Not once has he even fielded an average defense. So I don't understand why LSU would go and hire him because They just had that problem 2 years ago. Worst defense in Power 5, and they hated it then. So are they going to turn around and hire Lincoln Riley, who has, since he's been at Oklahoma, has been known to have one of the worst defenses in college football? It just kind of seems like a lateral move to me, especially in a conference like the SEC, where if you don't have a good defense, you can't compete nationally. So,
Well, hear me out. What if they just hire Lincoln Riley and they get an elite defensive coordinator from another SEC school, like a Tim Banks?
I would love that. That is brilliant. I like that. Yes.
I love that. I love that idea. Love that idea. Love that idea.
Please.
Let him cook. Let him cook. I like this idea.
Anyways, like I think that is the only way that it makes sense is if you're bringing in somebody who is an experienced, hard-nosed. I'm gonna be the defensive coordinator. Don't even think about talking to me about defense. You coach the offense. That's what you do. But that's the only.
Got you.
Any other names, guys?
I mean, you see all the really popular ones right now. John Summerall is one that everyone keeps throwing around. You see Alex Golish's name being brought up. Occasional Bob Chesney at James Madison. But I don't know. There's something about what's his name? Jay Graham. Did I say that earlier? Is that the nope. It is who's Kennesaw State's head coach? I'm losing my mind.
I don't
Jerry
know.
Mack.
Jerry Mack, thank you. Jerry Mack might make a really good head coach. I mean, 1 year. This Kennesaw State team last year was 1-11. They're 7-2 right now. 1 year transition. Some other higher up group of 5 team probably will look at that and be like, "Here, take our money, please help us."
They were so bad last year that they fired the coach that took them from an FCS program to an
They
FBS
fired the
program.
coach that made the program.
Yeah, literally, they did not have a football team until
They
this
did
guy
not have
came
a football team. This guy comes in,
and,
his
like,
kids are on the team, and they fire him. That's
Yeah.
how bad they were.
Like, you would have had to have been about as good as possible for anybody to be like, you know what? Yeah, they did the right thing, and they were right. They made the right call. So,
I mean, Jerry Mack was kind of an out of the blue hire too. He was running back coach at UT. He went to be a running backs coach in Jacksonville for the Jaguars in the NFL, and then all of a sudden he jumps over to Kennesaw State in North Georgia, and he does fantastic. So I think that this is a guy that is not being talked about enough. Especially, we've seen how this type of offense that Heupel likes to run has done at Group F5 levels. It excels. We see it with Alex Golish right now. I think another Jerry Mack could go do that somewhere at a higher level in the Group of 5.
And we know he can recruit because he, even at his time at Tennessee, he recruited some dudes in the running back room.
That was some dudes.
Yeah, he got
I think
some
you
dudes.
underemphasized how much those dudes were because it was Dylan Sampson. It was
2,000 yards in a season, Dylan Sampson.
just fantastic running backs.
Arguably the greatest single season of all running back ever. That's who he recruited.
He was the one who recruited Bishop here. I think he got
yeah. To be fair, Bishop was local. I don't think Bishop
was
ever
a
gonna go
Carnes
anywhere
kid.
else.
That's fair.
He had offers from like Coastal
It was like East Carolina. It was
and like
schools
East Carolina or App State.
Yeah.
I believe was another one, but then he ended up choosing to walk on here. But still, to your point, he did get him here.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But I think especially if any of those higher level G5 guys takes the jump, like we've heard Golish's name a lot.
I
Like,
feel
if
like,
he takes the jump, I feel
especially
like
if Golish goes, that has to be your
USF
first
has
call.
to
That has to be your first
immediately
call.
be like, hey, how much do you want? It's
Because
yours.
that is simply just a guy that worked under Golish as well. So like he'll know that staff. I feel like that Golish took, or he didn't really take much with him, but he'll know the guys because of how they've worked together. I
Right.
feel like that'd be a fantastic hire.
Very, very similar offensive schemes. So
Extremely similar. Camden?
I think a name that could generate some buzz, and he kind of had some buzz after last season, Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State.
Do you think he leaves after what he's doing
After-
right now?
after
I think he
this year?
could, yeah.
After this year, I think he.
Well, this year
might.
he got bummed by injuries.
yeah, that's the thing. I think everybody outside of the program knows that, but the media has been cooking him. So it's at the point where if you're not gonna win at Arizona State, and you're getting a firestorm rain down on you because there's nothing he can do, it makes more sense for him to leave now than it would have if they just kept being good, in my opinion.
I think, yeah, and I think he brings a lot of fire that some programs, maybe like a Virginia Tech, that needs something like that. And that might be a lateral, even a
I
downgrade.
feel like
of a
that's
move.
more of a downgrade of a move than anything for him.
Is it Arizona? Is like Virginia Tech's a better football school than Arizona State?
That is for sure.
Historically,
Even-
right
even-
now,
yeah.
right now, I would say that Arizona
Yeah, but
State's
like
a much better
I
position.
think the history of Virginia Tech
Virginia
matters
Tech
so-
athletics don't matter right now.
Yeah.
Period.
But like if you're the guy to rebuild it, you're gonna get a lot more buzz than if you make the playoffs every year with Arizona State and probably lose.
All this just for Beamer to take that job. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, no.
I just
South Carolina would be getting away with one if they got to get rid of Beamer. And I'll leave
Yeah.
it at that.
I just think that the amount of fire that he could bring to a program that might seem dead, that needs a little bit of fire, is something that will be enticing for some programs to look at.
I think he might be a good fit at Auburn. I know Auburn. I've heard Summerall for Auburn like a lot.
Yeah.
to the
You'll
po-
hear Semrall for any job because he's probably the top candidate right now.
But
regardless,
It's been all Auburn from what I've seen, and like I'm on one side of Twitter, which is just Auburn fans crying all the time. So I see what they want, and they want Summerall a lot. But I think Summerall is going to stay in the South.
that would make sense because that's where all his recruiting ties are.
Yeah. So, but I think he's a good place for Auburn, or like a good fit for Auburn, because I don't know if he's just done enough for like that Florida or LSU job. But with that being said, is there truly a candidate out there that has done enough historically to be seen as like a good hire for those programs? Because
Matt
I don't
Campbell.
Nick Saban.
come back, Nick. Come back, Nick.
I agree with you in the sense that I think going for the proven coach who is great but not necessarily historically successful is not a better hire than hiring a guy who is a little less experienced but has the potential to like boom.
At the spot right now, at where all these programs are at, most of these are downtrending programs. If you hire that mediocre guy, you're gonna regret doing it.
Yes.
You're absolutely 1,000,000% gonna regret doing it. That's why I think we'll see a lot more of these up and coming coaches take that job, and then those experienced coaches go take these lower jobs, because let's be honest, the experienced coaches, they'll only keep coaching if they love the game. If not, they'll sit on their behind and enjoy all that cash you're getting in from these buyouts. Like the James Franklin, I don't see him going and fitting at Virginia Tech because that's just not going to work. It's just not going to work, in my opinion. I don't see a way where that works. If he goes and finds a lower job where he can go back and excel and find a winning formula, then he can boost his name back up.
Right.
But if it doesn't work, you look at Derek Mason, he's probably going to be out of coaching at MTSU.
But yeah, I mean, like even then, like I mean, if you love the game of football enough, but you don't think any of the openings are good enough for you, I mean, Saban just retired and started doing commentary. Like that's always an option.
I mean, that's what
when Lane Kiffin retires, if he's not in television, I would be stunned.
I could see him being like Gruden and going to Barstool. I can see it clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's
For
the
sure.
UNLV coach's head name?
Mullen.
Dan Mullen.
Dan
That's
Mullen.
what he did. That's what he did. He took a few years off from Florida after being canned by Florida, went into commentary, was doing pretty good, and then this year UNLV, he's doing a pretty good job over there.
Did Matt Rule take a year off after being fired by the Panthers
I don't
before
think
going
so.
back to Nebraska?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Somebody took a year off, and I can't remember who it was now. But yeah, I think Franklin takes a year off.
I
Yeah.
do too.
That would make the most sense.
I think Brian Kelly might be done in general, or
I
takes a
think
year
Brian-
off because
I think
he's
Brian-
He would
older
have to take a
already.
really massive
Yeah.
step down in
Mhm.
order to.
I don't think any, based off of the reports of how bad of a human he is.
You don't need reports, man. He killed a kid.
I mean, yeah.
No disrespect. I know his.
He
the
was
kid's
not
mom
found
has asked
liable.
People to not joke about it, but like he did do that.
I
It
just
happen.
I just don't think an athletic department wants to take a chance, or especially with how old he is and what's been said about him. I don't think an athletic
That dude
department will
doesn't
take a
make
chance
sense.
on him.
I do have one question. It's going to be our weekly question. Where do we think Lane Kiffin goes as we sit this week? We think he stays, or where do we think he's going?
Florida.
I'd stay in Oxford.
I think he
Absolutely.
stays in Oxford.
At this moment, I think he's staying in Oxford.
I'm dead set he's still going to Florida.
Florida.
I would
feels
hate
like more
that.
of a-
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think I would despise. if
I
he
don't.
went
I
to
might
Florida.
tear up.
SEC. I just don't like.
Well, let me.
I don't want him in the SEC at all. But like, I'd rather him be at Ole Miss, who I don't think is ever going to win anything. legitimately.
Logan, let me pose this question to you. You think Lincoln Riley's gone? From what you've heard, you think
just
he's
from
good?
the fact that like I've heard and seen his name a lot more in the last week than I had in literally the year previous.
Does Kiffin go back?
No, not after what they did. Not after what he did, and not after how they fired him.
Fired
There's
him
no
on the
way.
tarmac. Fun fact: UT professor Gene Wojciechowski believes that he is partially responsible for that. He told this story in class where on game day that day, they asked him to give his opinion on Lane Kiffin, and he said if Lane Kiffin loses that game, they shouldn't even let him get on the plane. They should leave him on the tarmac. And then they left him on the tarmac.
I think that is one fantastic way to wrap up this week's episode. That was episode 3 of the Blue Chip Recruits. Thank you, Logan, Dalton, and Camden for joining us, and thank you, listeners, for listening. That will be all. Remember to tune in next week. We'll probably have another one if we can get enough bodies here. It is, I believe, Thanksgiving break, but
that's in two weeks.
Is it 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead. But anyways, thank you, viewers, for listening, and that'll be all for us. Peace.